In this advanced lesson, we take a look at something that you don't see too often on the LSAT, but you see it enough that it's worth talking about. And that's conditional statements that are complicated because if you look at the actual conditions, if you isolate the actual conditions, those statements are quantifier statements. So here, as the sufficient condition in this statement, we have this quantifier statement, an existential quantifier. Some students prefer being night owls. So, we could diagram that separately, right? You've learned how to do that in recent lessons. But when you look at this, you're noticing that the whole thing is like a conditional rule. So how do you diagram these statements where you have quantifier statements within the conditions of a conditional statement? And you always have a choice with these. One way is to write out the condition entirely the way we might diagram it if it was standing alone. So here we have two conditions. We have the sum statement, students some prefer night owl, being night owl. Then we have this back statement here, right? LSAT 8 a.m., then unfair. So these are these two quantifier statements that we pulled out of here. But as you can see, they're linked. They make up a conditional statement themselves. So if we bracket them off, we can make them part of one big conditional statement here. And then it's very obvious what the discrete parts are. Another way to do it that might be faster and works better in certain situations depending on what logical task you're being asked to do is to just abbreviate everything. As long as you understand what the abbreviation means, it's fine, right? So the way we would do that is if some students prefer being night owl, so we've abbreviated the whole condition. And we know what it means, right? We know it still means the same thing, but we just abbreviated it. Then LSAT 8 a.m. unfair, right? And this still means this same thing, but it's just a shorter version. So in coming lessons, we'll discuss when you might want to, use each approach. Generally, this is the better technique here. It's usually a waste of time to write all this stuff out. But I still really want people to conceptually understand what's going on here, that we have quantifier statements within the conditionals. And we need to know that because we might need to do tasks where we mess with these quantifier statements, like negate them. So we'll look at that in the next lesson, how to take statements like this and make contrapositives, or see when there's information present that might allow us to make an inference with these statements. Again, this is an advanced topic, so take it slowly, read the text lesson slowly. This and the next couple lessons are things that you're not going to encounter too often, but I think thinking about them is going to improve your ability as an LSAT student. So definitely take the time to carefully think through this stuff. Okay, give the text lesson a read and we'll be ready to move on.